Well, good morning, church. Today's devotion is called Don't Be a Baby. Stop it. There's three reasons in 1 Corinthians 3 when Paul talks to the church at Corinth. Three simple truths he gives them of why they are weak and carnal. He literally calls them babies, and he's frustrated. They haven't grown up in their faith. We've talked about this at our church in several services, and so I just want to give you this little quick devotion to remind you there's three things that you should understand about how you can grow in your faith. So 1 Corinthians 3, Paul says, I couldn't speak to you, brethren, as spiritual men, mature, but as the men of the flesh, infants, babes in Christ. I gave you milk to drink, not solid food, for you are not yet able to receive it. Indeed, now you're not able, for you're still fleshly. There's jealousy, and the evidence of that is there's jealousy and strife among you. Are you not fleshly, and you're not walking like mere men? For when one says, I'm of Paul, and another says, I'm of Apollos, are you not mere men? What is Apollos and Paul? Servants, through whom you believe, even as the Lord gave opportunity to each one of you. I planted, Apollos watered, God causes the growth. So neither one who plants or the one who waters anything, but it's God who causes the growth. So here's three just quick notes to trigger in your mind about why people sometimes stay immature. First, they have a terrible spiritual diet. Paul says you're taking in milk. You're not even trying to drink the meat of the word, eat the meat of the word. He says you're still doing milk, which means you're not willing to strive and grow in your understanding of the word. You want easy stuff, not deep stuff. You don't want to dig and research and study to show yourself approved, a workman not be ashamed. Paul's words to Timothy. The number one reason for immature Christians, baby Christians, is because they're unwilling to learn, study. They don't go to Bible studies. They just pop into church every now and then, hear a sermon here and there, watch sermons online, but they're not willing to dig in. They're not willing to buy books and read and study and grow in their faith. We are to grow in the grace and knowledge of the Lord. So that's the number one reason. The second reason, Paul says, you're allowing yourself to be led by your flesh. Are you not fleshly? He's saying you should be led by the Spirit of God. He talks about that in the previous chapter, and he's going to talk about it really all throughout the next section of Corinthians, that the Spirit of God is the one that should be leading them. This means they're being lazy or rebellious. These immature babies are being lazy and rebellious. They're not to not listen to or heed the Spirit that's there speaking to them. They're not heeding the Spirit of God that indwells them. That's just apathy and indifference and laziness. It's all kinds of things. But Paul's saying you should allow yourself to be led by the Spirit, not by the flesh. And then third, he says, you misunderstand God's sovereignty. You're thinking that me or Apollos or Peter or whoever, you're thinking we're all somehow doing something, but God's the one that works in you. He's the one that did all this. One man plants, another man waters, another man harvests, but God's the one who causes the growth. And he's saying part of your immaturity that's evident is that you don't even see the sovereignty of God. You don't keep God in your thoughts all the time and see that he is the ruler over everything. So don't be a baby. Don't be a baby today. Northside Christians, don't be a baby. Eat good. Study the Word. Dive in. Listen to the Spirit of God, not your flesh. And then remember God's sovereignty. Let's all be grown-ups today in our faith. Talk to you guys later.